Hamjamboni mabibi na mabwana. Okay, that's the attempt I'll have at Swahili. Greetings from Mombasa County. We are here in Nyali, or is this Bamburi Road? We're in Nyali, right? The Malindi Mombasa Highway, just off that. And I'm with SLIQOUR. SLIQOUR's Anand Bagani.
Yes.
Good friend of mine. It's very interesting how we met. Our meeting was not wine related.
It wasn't.
But then you tell it better. So go ahead and say, how did we meet?
Hello everyone, that's WINENJIRU. She likes calling herself WINENJIRU, which is quite fascinating when I met her the first time. So we met during the Jameson event,
yes,
which was at the Tamarind Dow. Way back 2017, I think May or June, somewhere there.
You had just opened
We
the
had
shop.
just opened the shop, was just like 1 month old. And we met with other 60 people were invited. And it was a Jameson party. And we met on the deck where I was with a few other distributors and a few friends. And you came up and joined the group and you introduced yourself and you started a conversation about this shop on the highway called SLIQOUR.
Oh.
If anybody has known about it, if I've seen it. So you asked me whether I've been there. And I said, yes, I've been there. I know the shop. I know the owner. That's when I didn't want to actually spill the beans and tell you I'm the owner, but another friend of mine actually barged in and told you that he's the owner.
He's the owner. Okay, I don't remember that at all.
And that's how our friendship started in 2017 up to today.
Up to today.
And we've been through quite a bit after that in terms of trainings, in terms of wine seminars and wine, gatherings.
I normally have these many situations where I put my foot right in it, but then I'm glad. I'm glad I'm hearing this story now.
Yeah.
Because
you recall it now.
Yes, it all worked out for the good, right?
Yep, it did.
It all worked out for the good. But then, who opens a business in an election year? How? Because that is the year we had 2 elections.
Yes.
Yeah?
2017, yeah.
Yes, because there was the first election, and then we thought everything was fine, and then there was
a long story.
There was a Supreme Court thing. But then the timing of the opening?
The long story was that SLIQOUR was in my mind many years ago. The proposals came to the board 5 times. And every time something came up, so it was shelved. It was not brought to life. And year 2015 is when now the board of directors agreed to give in and take my dream to become a reality. We have been distributors for Coke from generations coming down from 1982 for the same region for North Coast up to 2000. Then EABL distribution came up for advertisement, and we had to tender for it.
Okay.
And we won the tender in 2000. And I joined Shiva in 2005. So Shiva is our main EABL distribution. That's how we came into distribution. So distribution is our core business. And I ran Shiva from 2005, that's when I joined in, till 2017 when SLIQOUR was born.
Okay.
That's when I took over SLIQOUR fully. So with SLIQOUR, we've been there for 7 years. It's both retail and wholesale.
Wholesale, yes.
So we cater to the off-trade and on-trade. Consumers, hoteliers, bars, restaurants, wherever drinks have been served or alcohol is being served. Try and cater for every market, from the low to the high. Yes, wine has become a big thing over 7 years. I've seen changes, I've seen the transformation, and it's still growing.
It's still growing, and there's still so much to do.
And there's still so much to do, with the regions.
I like the reference you're doing to the board of directors, like it's an external group of people. But this is actually a family business.
It is a family business, We're 7 brothers.
7 brothers.
Unfortunately, one of them passed away 2 years ago, so we are 6 now. And all of them are directors of the company. All of them are shareholders. Everybody handles their own departments. So I handle SLIQOUR.
Yes.
The others run the EABL distribution. One of them runs the logistics department with, again, good, capable staff on the ground.
Okay.
on the management level. And here we are, 20 years down the line. Shiva has been there for 23 years.
23 years. So in this family business, where are you in terms of birth order?
Oh, I'm the last one. I'm the last born.
You're the last born, but at least you still have your say in the particular business as a shareholder and as one of the business directors. We admire that in you. One of the things I remember once, of course, we met, and very quickly on, you wanted your staff to be trained. But what was really interesting is, and this is the first time I'd ever done training at night, we had the training over 3 days, but it used to start at 9 p.m. I'm not sure whether it's your work ethic or it's your Asian heritage about duka hatuwezi funga. Lazima watu wafanye kazi siku mzima. Then we used to have a feast of dinner and then start the training at 9 p.m. I think to midnight for 3 consecutive days. That was quite a first for me.
So how I would put it is, I personally don't like having tastings done in the morning hours unless it's a light sparkling wine or a prosecco or a brut. But wines and all that, you cannot have it in the morning. So I always feel it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Yes.
And it's your people, not your numbers. Numbers will grow by itself if your people are happy. So yes, the feast, after a long day's work, people want to unwind, have a nice chilled glass of bubbly with a bit of canopies on the side. And that's why I propose we have it in the evening, because once you have advertised your timings, you have to stick to it.
You have to stick to it, yeah.
So then your consumers will start, shying off you if you're not there. So being a new shop, being new in the market with competition there, we had to keep our timings proper. And again, I wanted all the staff to be part of it. So we could only do that after we have closed shop. Not to miss out on some of them. Exactly.
And then what I realized is, I don't know, you didn't mention a supermarket, because I think there was a supermarket that had closed down. So a lot of the staff then had been inherited by SLIQOUR.
Yes, we had 2 businesses. We had the Coke distribution, which is run by 3 of my brothers. 2 of the brothers were in the UK, who left many years ago. And me and my other brother, who is now the finance director at Shiva, we used to have a shop called Morning Dew.
Morning Dew.
Morning Dew, yeah. It used to be a supermarket where it was something like Chandarana, where it used to have everything, but it was a kind of a bespoke corner shop where you'd find delicatessens, salami.
High-end stuff. I remember the cheese.
High-end stuff, the cheese, the delicatessen counter. You have the specific wines, specific spirits, fresh fruits and veg. So we ran that from year 1990 to 2013, to 2005 when I moved out.
Okay.
So when Shiva grew, there was a need of one of the directors to move in.
To be able to do that.
And that's when now Diageo took over EABL, so their portfolio kept on increasing. And there was a need of somebody to come and run the spirit section and the beer section. Kenyan being a beer market, those days, spirits took quite a bit of time to get into the market. So we had a really rough time for 5 years trying to implement spirits in the market.
Oh, wow.
So today's spirits is...
And I mean, you can't even tell the difference now because it's quite ingrained in us. Sometimes we even forget to...
So beers at that time, Kenyan market was beer. Now things are changing.
Yeah.
Cocktails, wines. Now you have cocktail bars every now and other place.
Okay.
So things are changing.
Things are changing with time. But then where I was bringing up the particular staff complement, was another first for me was, it was the first time I was doing training in Mombasa. And Mombasa is heavily Swahili.
Yeah.
So of course I had to tweak my language, and this is technical language on wines, to a Swahili audience, right? Yeah. Secondly was where most of the people, perhaps in my previous trainings, were younger. And you can use all sorts of jokes. So it's a more mature crowd. But I tell you, when they got it, they got it. And I love the transformation that has happened over time. Yeah. I speak about Bakari often. We have an insert of his story as well. He is known around the world in terms of, he's digging for information and stuff like that. And the other staff members that are still here as well. So that was a big challenge for me. And I keep telling, of course, the joke is always, if a lady from Kirinyaga can learn about wine, anybody can.
Yeah, anybody can.
But again, if Bakari is doing this today, then Wanjiru is a really good teacher.
Jina langu Naitwa Bakari Zoza. Ninafanya kazi na SLIQOUR Limited. Nimefanya hapo kwa miaka 6 from 2017 mpaka sasa hii. Nikiingia SLIQOUR sikuwa najua chochote kuhusu wine. Baada ya kama miezi 6 tukapata mwalimu anaitwa Wanjiru. Wanjiru ndio alikuwa mwalimu wangu wa kwanza kuintroduce kwa wine. Baada ya hapo nimekuwa na interest ya kusoma zaidi kuhusu wines. Sana sana nimedili na wines za South Africa. Mostly hizo regions, vile the first Dutch alipokuja kutoka 1652 hapo akaintroduce hizo grapes hapo. Nikaendelea kusoma na kuna wines nyingi ambazo zimenipendezea kwa sababu ya historia yake, kama Franchot cellar. Franchot ni French word ambayo walikuwa ni rebellions kutoka France ambao walitoka France wakaingia South Africa. Wakakava area moja ndio ikapatiwa hiyo jina ya Franchot. Na kutoka wakati huo grapes zao ambazo wanalima sana ni Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, Chardonnay, Pinotage na Chenin Blanc.
My name is Tracey. I've been working for SLIQOUR for 4 years. I came as a brand ambassador through my hard work. Mr. Anand, who is my boss, he saw it through me and took me on board. As I started on ground, I was so blank about everything on the shop, including wine, whiskey, all varieties. But when we were taking through several trainings where I met Madam Wanjiru, I learned a lot about wine through Madam Wanjiru, and I got an interest about wine. So I studied more about wine. My fellow colleague Bakari took me through. He also helped me a lot about wine. I also researched. I gained interest slowly by slowly, and I'm so proud of myself to where I am today. Today I chose a Cabernet Sauvignon, an Edinburgh Cabernet Sauvignon. In red grapes, it's a widely planted grape.
I've walked into a training today at 8 a.m. Yes, there was no tasting, but I think even your staff complement has grown where it allows maybe a day one with this group of people and a different day with a different group of people.
It normally, staff do change. Some of them are like new recruits, and they need a basic wine training. And there are others who are already mature, who've been with us for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yes.
They would know the basics, and they are at a middle level. So hence a wine training or a whiskey training or a spirits training is important for them to acknowledge and understand where the market is moving.
Definitely.
And get more knowledgeable in terms of the product they're selling.
And you've also been traveling around the world, hey?
Yep.
Where were you
we are performing. We are performing with the help of the staff, and work as a team.
Yes.
And we are recognized by international companies. So recently we went to Scotland, where we were hosted by William Grant and Sons, which is Glenfiddich.
And you were one of 10 people or less?
I was the only distributor.
Okay.
In Kenya.
In Kenya.
The rest were all retailers, bar owners, influencers.
Yes, exactly.
Bloggers, writers. So we had a mix. We had a mix of 3 people from the alcohol industry, but to the level of nightclubs and outlets. One distributor, which was me, retailers, and other people from the market.
That means you're an authority, not just
Yep.
in Mombasa
It's
County,
the performance.
but
It's the
even in the
performance.
country as well. And I know a lot of times I call you, you're in Nairobi,
Yep.
you know, for some event or other. So we really congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
And I'm listening to your language as well. You were talking about, oh, sparkling wine in the morning. That wasn't clearly the Anand we knew 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yes. We've talked about, do you want to be a wine importer severally? But I'm
Yeah.
not sure where we are at on that journey, or is it something you see yourself getting into anytime soon?
So my vision for SLIQOUR is I don't want to go into many branches. I want to have 1 or 2 or 3 bespoke outlets where people can actually access the products, the correct price, again at the correct temperature, because these things need to be at a certain temperature, otherwise they'll start going off. So these products, they do not have expiries on it, which is a good thing. You can hold on to them, but importation is my next goal.
Okay.
In the next year to come or 2 years to come, where I could bring in things which are not readily available. Like looking at Kenya, you have a huge deficit on cider markets. Cider is not there. Not a big portfolio on rum. Not a big portfolio on New Zealand wines.
Okay.
American wines. So you do have importers, yes. You have a lot of South African, you have a lot of Italian, different people bringing it in. French has started coming in now. But there are some other places where you'd like to have good products, like the Japanese whiskies. Indian whiskies have been winning awards recently. So some of those can be a good portfolio to have.
To expand into.
Because Kenyans are getting more knowledgeable, they're traveling a lot. They would expect, they're going out for studies.
Yes.
So the younger batch, or the younger segment of Kenya, we are 63, or is it 53% of Kenyans are all below 35. These are all the younger generations. They're traveling, they're visiting other countries, and they're seeing different things. They would like to have the same in our country, which is happening now.
Yes.
I'm glad it's happening, but it's taking too long to get these things in.
And again, I mean, we've had this debate before. A lot of time Mombasa was even, I mean, the coastal counties were even forgotten.
Yeah.
So people will have great experiences in Nairobi, but now I'm so glad
Things
in
are
most of the
happening,
places I go to within the coastal region, there is good products, there is good pricing, and the variety is changing.
There is some good fine dinings now. There's some good fine restaurants, some nice nightclubs, where these products would be high in demand. So things like the cognacs, things like the champagnes, things like good sparkling wines. And Mombasa being hot, being tropicalized, it's always good to have your lighter drinks. Like gin is really big in Mombasa.
In Mombasa right now, okay.
So on a Sunday afternoon, gin would be a good drink for people to have. Lighter, not heavy, because of the weather. So I think, there's a lot of potential still there.
Still there. Where does Mombasa fit into consumption trends within the coastal region? I know you're present on the coast, so your work extends all the way into Kilifi as well?
Yeah, up to Vipingo.
Oh,
But
up to
for
Vipingo.
SLIQOUR, we're open to anywhere.
For SLIQOUR is anywhere.
We don't have any territory restrictions.
Okay.
We supply up to Kilifi, we supply up to
Up to-
Malindi, up to South Coast.
Out to South Coast. So where is the most consumption right now, you think?
North, this
North.
area.
It's still north, huh?
Still north.
Yeah, in terms of the retail going on as
Yeah,
well.
because most of the outlets, high-end outlets, are all within this vicinity. And these are the ones who move your volume.
Move your volumes, okay. What is most in demand in this area? What style of wine do you think? Or from your books?
I think
Without asking
Sauvignon
for
Blanc.
too much detail.
Sauvignon Blanc is one of my most preferred,
Okay, great.
because I think Sauvignon Blanc is quite easy to have in a hotter climate. Proseccos are another
are moving very fast.
good. So you have the Prosecco spritz. You can have Aperol Prosecco with a slice of orange, and it's quite refreshing. So that's what people like having at the coastal town, just by the beach or by the pool, or
Yeah.
even in your garden, having over a barbecue or something. So during COVID, pre-COVID and post-COVID, we never used to see this.
Okay.
After COVID, we have seen a drastic change of people consuming at home. These are now people who are established, just under 40 years of age. We've got a young family. people used to go out quite a bit every weekend. Now they've stopped. They go maybe once a month. And they have more of their parties and their entertainments at home.
At home, exactly.
So that is another area where we have tapped into through deliveries and through on-call.
Great.
Serving the right, chilled stuff. And it's working.
It's working. No?
Yeah.
That's really, really great. And I know in part of the sort of distributor importers group, you're one of the people who always sends like requests asking about this and that. And hopefully that has also meant that for your customers, you have a lot of variety available for them. Yeah. What are the challenges maybe? People, okay, I know we're complaining about everything right now as Kenyans.
No, my main one is availability because as you know, US, China, India are the main consumers today. During COVID, there was a big, huge gap of 6-8 months, 1 year for production, maturing of the product. So there are countries which are suffering in terms of cognac in France.
Okay.
You have whiskies, high-end whiskies, which are suffering in terms of stocks in Scotland.
There's limitations.
There's
for what is
limitations,
allocated
and
in the
again,
different countries.
the demands in other countries are too high. So our allocation for Kenya or Africa is too little.
Yes.
Nigeria being one of them, which is consuming quite a bit of
Champagnes.
high-end stuff. So challenge is getting the stuff, allocations, getting the correct stuff from the correct people, getting the genuine stuff as well.
Oh yeah, that's a big
big
deal
one.
now. Counterfeit alcohol.
Counterfeit alcohol, you see every now and then in the news. Some of them have been busted in some of the regions in Nairobi, having Glenlivets, having champagnes, Moët Chandons, all fake ones being produced. So getting the product from the right place, from the right people is very, very key.
Okay.
So I'd rather not have the product on the shelf and tell my consumer to buy something else rather than getting it from sources I don't know. So we are appointed by the companies.
Okay.
If it's Moët Chandon, we buy it from the appointed importer.
Important.
So we try and keep that as simple. So I'm glad that I can proudly say in the last 7 years we've never had a single complaint about our product being, a bit dodgy.
Okay.
So that we're proud of.
Oh, and we're happy about that. Alcohol has its side effects alone just by being an alcoholic drinker, and we encourage responsible drinking. But the fact that people are not getting the right product is actually
and one more thing, when we started
scary.
in 2017, I would say the wine portfolio was about 10-15% of our market share in terms of the shop. Now we are heading 40%.
Oh, 40! Wow! Within
That's
7 years.
everything. That's the whole wine range, whether it's sparkling, red, white, rosé.
Okay.
The whole wine category has moved up from 15 to 40.
To 40. And
So-
what's your targeted number? Where do you want to be?
Now it's all consumer based. It's all how consumers. It's all consumer driven, and hence you see I keep on posting on the group asking for things. When a consumer comes to the shop, he's asking for something because he must have seen it in the US. Recently I posted something about a US wine. There's a particular customer who doesn't mind spending 10,000 on a bottle, but he wants that particular one. So it will be my job to get it. So impossibles we do, miracles take a bit longer. So that's
Okay,
how.
miracles take a bit longer.
That's how-
Impossibles we do, miracles take a bit longer. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'll coach you on that one as well. But then you would actually source the product for them.
I'll go all out and make sure that
Wow.
if it's there, I'll have it.
You'll have it. And again, it means they're buying a substantial quantity.
Yeah, they're buying 12 bottles minimum. So
Yes.
again, if it's not available readily, then they don't mind stocking it. So some of the high-end Pinot Noirs, Amarones, things like Chablis, Chateauneuf, all those are not readily available. And when they come, they get finished because they're very small quantities.
So you're also doing your own allocation program here at your shop.
Yeah, we have
Apply
to.
now and be on the list to achieve the minimal quantity.
But we try and
some growth. That is quite some growth.
we
Yeah.
try and listen to our consumers. We try and listen to our customers. Try and get them what they want. If it's there, or if not that particular one, maybe something very similar. I normally call you. I normally call other sommeliers and ask them, how can you help? What would you advise me? A consumer wants
Yes.
a Chateauneuf du Pape from France, from this region. It's not available. What can you recommend?
Yeah.
And you would always link me up to people who import. So yeah, that's how we keep them happy.
We keep them happy.
As I told you, for me, it's my people.
Yeah.
Whether it's my staff, whether it's my consumers, whether they're my friends, the numbers will grow by itself. I'm not a target-based person. I
create the value, and the people will
value
come,
the
business will
relations,
grow.
the attachment, and that's what's going to grow.
Yeah, I have to ask this: are the board of directors happy about the decision they made?
Now yes, now yes. It took me 3 years to get to where I am, and
Yes.
And again you can tell from the retention of staff.
Yes.
When you have quite a bit of changeover on staff every now and then, it tells you something. But when you have staff who have been with you for 4 years, 7 years, 10 years, there are staff there who have been with me from the olden shop
Wow.
for the last 20 years.
Wow.
And they are happy and they're growing and they're getting more knowledge. So why not?
And you're still, Wanjiru is still her favorite place in Mombasa.
And Wanjiru is here from 2017.
She pops in.
She always calls me whenever she's in Mombasa.
You know,
So, yeah.
I surprise you sometimes. But you still owe me that dinner.
Yeah. We're having one tonight.
There's others importers who have come.
We're having one
Taking
tonight, aren't we?
Special dinner.
We're having one tonight.
Yeah, we'll keep that a secret. Yeah, so we're having that. Thank you so much. This has been great, and I mean, I've been really looking forward to this story because, yeah, you've been one of my sort of old favorites, and I'm glad we're able to do this coastal edition. Of course, on the 13th of December, we're having a Cup Classic event here at Tamarind, part of the ongoing, yeah? You're the one who motivated me to actually tell WOSA that we need to come and...
Because Mombasa was quietly neglected and...
yes, and focus on
now,
that ugly cousin, eh?
And you see, again, in the whole year, you have three seasons where Nairobi crowd is here.
Yes.
So you have the Easter, you have the summer holidays, and then you have December. Of course, December being one of the biggest.
Yes.
So I think Cape Classic is going to be a good timing of on the 13th, and it's going to actually be a good win for all these sparkling wines we have from South Africa.
To really elevate
which
that.
are going to be affordable, and they're pocket friendly.
They're pocket friendly, exactly.
And they're good wines. So I think it's a good move.
And we look forward to giving your customers and your staff an unforgettable experience with that event, and of course to hosting many more. I know you're all looking forward to travel somewhere. Hopefully one day it'll be.
I want to go to South Africa.
Able to join you on
I
that
want to go. I've
trip.
been to South Africa. I've been to Cape Town. I've been to Pretoria with a couple of times with other companies.
Yes.
Which is not related to wine. But I would like to go and see the whole process.
We do the whole wine events.
Yeah, so if it's a 4 or 5 day affair, I would like to be part of WOSA. I couldn't make it last time because of some emergencies in the family, and I had to turn down the offer 11th hour. But this time around, I want to take some of my staff together with me.
Super.
And partner together and at least grow up more of our knowledge.
Super. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure being here.
Same here.
And we wish SLIQOUR, Shiva, the whole group, the very best in their business as well.
Thank you. Always a pleasure having you besides us in terms of a whole encyclopedia of wine, and to take us through and always take us out of trouble whenever we need help. And it's always good to have you next to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.